welcome to Leaders of Tomorrow, 18 Hours special initiative that celebrates the undying entrepreneurial spirit of micro, small and medium enterprises. On the show today, a recap of a conversation with Vineet Nair. On our Insight segment today, featuring a conversation with Lithium Technologies. And on Bright Sparks tonight, we're featuring Dr. Insta and Barking Bond. From corporate honcho to being in Foreign Policy magazine's Global Thinkers 2016 list for his work in the field of education, former HCL Tech CEO Vineet Nair has never believed in half measures. We caught up with him earlier to talk about the Sampark Foundation, whether entrepreneurs in the field of education can really make money off this, and also how entrepreneurs and MSMEs can integrate technology more into their businesses. Take a look.
I know you're not going to like it if you're listening to this. I truly believe you cannot be intellectually lazy if you want to be an entrepreneur. You cannot drink your own soda. It is very, very important to be optimistic, at the same time intellectually ask yourself some very tough questions. I mentor a lot of people. A lot of young people come into this room where you're sitting. I mentor them for free. And the only question which I have is, I'm going to ask you 10 questions, which is going to make you feel terrible about yourself. But after that, you're either going to drop the idea or you're going to get hugely enthused about the idea, because that is what mentorship is all about. So those 10 questions you can ask yourself, and therefore that will push you to be away from being hugely excited about your idea to be not intellectually lazy about making that idea work. I believe we have great ideas and I see great ideas. I believe we have great gaps and I see great opportunities, but I see intellectually lazy application of mind, and therefore we never see great corporations, not never, we see fewer great corporations coming out rather than the capability that exists.
Even as the government has said that it will fund up to 60% of the R&D cost of e-vehicles, Bengaluru-based Lithium Technologies has got a head start in the field of electric vehicles. I spoke with the founders to understand how entrepreneurs can innovate in the field of transportation here in India. Take a look. Most companies today don't look beyond e-commerce. What then led you to set up this company, which is in the space of electric vehicles?
50% of the variable cost in transportation is that of fuel, and we as a country really don't control that fuel cost. That's decided elsewhere. But we are blessed with a lot of natural resources as far as, say, solar energy or renewables is concerned. So we said, how can we use the trajectories that are there today in terms of the renewable costs coming down, and use that energy as a means of powering transportation. And because transportation accounts for almost 30 to 40% of our country's import energy bill. So how can you obviate that and at the same time provide a very, very clean and a sustainable mode of transport? Because we believe that the winners in this urban transportation space are going to have four tenets. That's clean, connected, shared and distributed.
So let's talk a little more about how the market is likely to change going forward, given the fact that you have big boys including Mahindra who are betting very big as far as electric vehicles are concerned.
From a supply side, you'll see infrastructure being created because new forms of transportation require new forms of infrastructure. Whether it's from an urban planning perspective or provisioning for power or for charging stations, etc. It also means on a supply side, the government will have to, always be in line or be a step, though it will be a step behind. Follow the lead of what the consumers want and what the service providers are doing, and really, from a framework, providing the right framework for everyone to operate. From a consumer perspective, I think there will be a tidal shift over a period of time from ownership of an asset, of a vehicle, to the ridership, and therefore several forms will come over a period of time, and really this space, which was fairly dinosauric at one point in time, we'll see, which already has seen a lot of innovation, we'll see even more.
So then, using that experience, maybe you can talk to our viewers about how one can take on competition, whether it is smaller players or larger players. What has your own experience been like, and what advice can you give our viewers?
And transportation is one of those things that we always choose an appropriate mode for every journey that we undertake on a daily basis, right? and therefore you mustn't look at it saying that, you know, there is an Uber or there is an Ola and stuff like that. I think there is really segment very deeply to know which is that market. Even a sliver in each of these markets is fairly large for any startup to take. Concentrate on a sliver, concentrate on getting your value proposition right for that particular sliver, be the best in that, in whatever segment that you serve, and then from there grow yourself, grow your way up in different other segments. So that's how we've tried to approach it. We've been okay since we started, and we've seen a lot of traction.
How large is the market for electric vehicles in India right now, and what lessons can one really learn from global peers when it comes to what kind of innovation or what kind of growth, what kind of solutions really need to be offered if electric vehicles are to catch up here in India?
I mean, there are a lot of segments that we feel are already viable that can use electric vehicles today. And the viability will only improve going forward as economies of scale on the OEM side drive their production cost of the vehicle down. Battery costs are going down following, say, similar to a Moore's law. Energy costs have come down on renewables. And it's almost a network effect that, you know, it's the most difficult to get the first 5,000 vehicles on the road. Once you have 50,000, then it's easier to get the next 450,000 on the road. And once you have that 500,000 on the road, then it's very easy to get the next 50 million on the road. So, you know, we've started the journey in the belief that we got to do it for ourselves, and started the journey on that end. But we believe that you know, this is a inevitable direction of movement. The question is, and we see the viability improving as we go along.
We love talking about funding here on the Leaders of Tomorrow, because most entrepreneurs and MSMEs ask us how they can go about effectively raising funds. So maybe you can talk to our viewers about your own funding experience.
We wanted to be profitable from every car. So every car of ours is profitable. We achieved operating break-even in May, June of this year, earlier this year. When we were just about a year into operations. That was what we had planned when we started. So we've just raised some money from some excellent angels, people who've been very supportive, have great amount of domain expertise, both in transportation and in fundraise. We've worked with a lot of financial institutions to raise debt. Even there, creating awareness amongst financial institutions on electric cars. We've been very, very fortunate on financial institutions believing in us, accepting the risk. Clients, most importantly, I think all of this boils down to our business clients. We are a B2B business, and therefore, and the service we provide to our clients is very, very business critical. So them believing in that shift and moving their operations from petrol or diesel vehicles to electric vehicles, and that really essentially has helped us in this funding journey, our clients. And for us, it's every vehicle that is employed must be profitable. So we are looking. I mean, should hit 50 crores in revenues by this end of this financial year as a run rate, and we'll be profitable.
There's been so much of back and forth that's really happened as far as government policy with regards to electric vehicles here in India. But if I'm going to put you on the spot and say, what is the one thing that you'd like to see by way of government policy, what would that be? I
think 2 or 3 things. One is on encouraging more and more OEMs to come into India. A phased plan for the best technology for electric vehicles is outside of India right now, because that's where the adoption is. How can you get that into India? 2, for companies like us, and we do hope there are more people who are into this electric mobility space, and simply have more risks than IC engine vehicle. The interest rates are higher, so can the government subsidize something like that? Is there a scheme for lower margins? So can we buy how an electric or how a petrol or diesel car can be bought at 100% margin? And structurally, how do we work with infrastructure providers, whether it is metro stations, whether it is city governments, to provide charging infrastructure across cities, How can the government help subsidize the cost of that charging infrastructure? So that is, and this is not something that is unique to what we're asking for in India. There's several of these or all of these have been done by governments across the world, both developing as well as developed, and that has helped push the adoption rates dramatically.
So then what are the next few years looking like for you?
Already looking at expanding into a few more cities, so you will see us present in this segment, deepening our presence across on a pan-India basis. We are also seeing requests from other markets outside of India which have a similar energy arbitrage where I think there are opportunities that are opening up. So we will probably be in a market or two globally in the next few years. We are also looking at other segments. So you will see us in a few more segments. You will see us in mass transit as well. You will see us in freight, across intercities freight, where we will get into that space as well. So everything that's core to our DNA, SLA based, non-discretionary, high on energy arbitrage, provides great value, where the ability to price the product, there's a real price, and every market that's profitable, yeah, we will be there in that market in the next few years.
Time for a very short break here on the Leaders of Tomorrow. On the other side, on Bright Sparks, we'll feature Dr. Insta and Bark and Bond. Do stay tuned. Welcome back. You're with us here on the Leaders of Tomorrow. On Bright Sparks tonight, we're featuring Dr. Insta and Bark and Bond. We're all familiar with the cliched saying that health is wealth, but staying healthy can take a toll on our wealth due to the expensive healthcare services that are available in India today. Gurugram-based Dr. Insta has leveraged technology to provide instant and affordable healthcare services at the comfort of your home. Libza Manan caught up with the founder of this health tech startup and brought to us tips for entrepreneurs looking to enter the online healthcare space.
Hello, how can I help you, sir? Basically, Dr. Insta is a telemedicine platform where you can video, phone, chat, consult doctors.
Till a decade ago, could we imagine consulting a doctor instantly online or over a video chat? But with technology giving a thrust to almost all businesses today, the healthcare sector too has undergone a significant transformation. And one brand that seems to have leveraged technology wisely in this space is Dr. Insta.
So Amit, your healthcare tech startup allows users to access doctors instantly. What prompted you to enter and disrupt the healthcare space with Dr. Insta?
What we want to do is we want to bring healthcare to everyone's fingertips so that, no matter what time of the day it is and no matter where you are at, you can just tap the app of Dr. Insta and get a high quality consultation from a highly qualified doctor. And if you look at the macro level, 70% of the healthcare issues which land us up in an outpatient department could very well be resolved through telemedicine. It's a scientifically proven fact. So there is no reason for us Indians not to leverage the new technology.
But healthcare is a traditional space. So how challenging was it to revamp such an age-old industry and build consumer trust for an online platform like yours?
See, it's not easy. Adoption and engagement are the two metrics which we are very keen to see evolve in India. We are not trying to put hospitals or clinics out of business, by the way. We are trying to strengthen the healthcare system, healthcare backbone of our country, so that people are not relying upon quacks, people are not relying upon neem hakims to get their healthcare services to them.
Absolutely. And what do you have in store for the doctors who are associated with Dr. Insta?
One, that in some shape or form it was already happening. We are just formalizing this setup. Second, if you look at these doctors in these 9 specialty areas, almost all of them would have patients from 10 to 15 miles radius. Why? Because they're not surgical areas, right? But with Dr. Insta, you're opening the whole country as a catchment area for these doctors.
Well, there is a rising mobile and internet penetration in India, and your brand's offerings are essentially technology driven. So, how does the brand stay at par with the latest technology to keep reinventing?
We keep on, training our engineers with cutting edge technology. As and when new improvements happen, we incorporate them. And that's why if you go to an app store or Play Store and look at Dr. Insta's apps, you would see like series of releases. Every new release that we do is more powerful, more strong, and more customer friendly than the previous release.
With a range of offerings in various healthcare categories, from nutrition to pediatrics to psychiatry, the brand is soon becoming a one-stop shop for all your healthcare needs, witnessing over 3 lakh downloads of the app till date.
So Amit, Dr. Insta is essentially a web-based platform, but as we all know that a significant section of Indian population is still not well versed with technology or the digital platform. So what are you doing to tap such a section of consumers?
In India we say we have India and then we have Bharat. Bharat is digitally challenged India, and India is, new upcoming digitally evolved India. So for the citizens of Bharat, we are tying up with some large companies which we have village level entrepreneurs. We call them VLEs. So these village level entrepreneurs are like small Kiryana shop owners which have tablets provided to them. With the presence of this VLEs, Dr. Insta, I can have a consultation from a good quality doctor to get my need addressed right then and there.
Right. And talking more about the innovative offerings, well, Dr. Insta is soon to launch an out-of-the-box healthcare product, that is the Health ATM. So tell us more about it.
So in Health ATM, what we are doing is we are marrying health IoT devices, Internet of Things devices, with the consultations. So these health IoT, so imagine it's a desk, right? Desk with 5 or 6 health IoT devices, and there is one attendant sitting next to you, taking all your vitals, and at the end of the process, you would be shot an email with all the details showing you what is in range, what is out of range. And for all the items which are out of range, if you need a consultation, you can just press the button on the screen on the Health ATM and get that consultation.
And Amit, raising capital has always been a very crucial move for startups. For Dr. Insta, how has the fundraising journey been so far?
As we started this journey, a couple of angel investors from New York and New Delhi joined forces with us, along with BrahmX Ventures, which is again US-based venture capital fund. As we further marched down that journey, another large venture capital fund, Roundglass Partners, provided funding to us, voting in favor of our doing what we are trying to do in the Indian marketplace.
With a team of over 50 employees currently, Amit Munjal has some strategic plans in place for his 2-year-old startup. With launching more innovative mobile healthcare offerings and bringing on board at least 1 million users on the B2B2C platform, an ambitious target with which the brand is likely to revamp India's healthcare sector.
Dogs are indeed a man's best friend, they say, but what happens when your best friend refuses to listen to you, or when you have to travel, cannot possibly take your pet with you? Meeting these basic needs of pet parents in Mumbai is Bark & Bond. Shubhangi Sinha caught up with the founder to bring you tips on how to make a mark in an unorganized sector like that of pet services.
A wagging tail, puppy eyes, and a heart full of love. Each dog is guaranteed to have these qualities in common with their fellow canines. But should every dog be trained and cared for in a similar way? Recognizing the lack of awareness about pet services in the country, animal lover Pranita Balar set up Mumbai-based Bark & Bond in 2012.
Talking about the pet services and pet training market in India, what do you think is the status like at this point in time?
Anyone who needs to understand why their dog is doing, what is it doing, and because there are a lot of myths, people like, no, it's taking revenge, or it's being stubborn, it's just not listening to me. But there are a lot of times you don't realize the dog is actually confused. So anyone who has a dog, and even if I've seen clients who have had dogs all their lives, the mistake they do is all dogs are same. Just like human individuals are different, it's difficult to understand them. So even in the same breed, one dog will be different from the other. So it's just like anyone who has a pet as a companion, I am there to help.
Now, some might consider pet training, pet services as sort of a luxury. What do you think is your relevance in that case in a tier 2 or a tier 3 city?
Awareness about pet training is not much in metros as well, but still it's comparatively better. In tier 2, tier 3, I think more the pets are actually got for security reason, for guarding reason. They're very rarely got for companion because they have bigger house, the dog actually stays outside. So more than luxury, as I said, it's understanding the dog. So even for guarding, you can teach the dog to guard without doing biting, just to jump and bark on command is enough to scare anyone. So you can teach a dog to secure the house. Most of them have general natural instinct of that. So it's not a luxury, people think, because they have to pay so much, but it's actually a necessity everywhere.
Now, Pranita, I understand you're a one-woman army at Bark and Bond. What has your entrepreneurial journey been like?
I did 4 jobs in 4 years, and then I just quit. I studied canine training and behavior, and I got into it. And but just doing the certification is not enough. You need to read up a lot. You need to work in and out with dogs. You have to stay with them. I started even pet sitting dogs whose family travels and they can't leave them at boarding. So it's really, because at that time I didn't have a dog of my own, so spending time 24 hours with the dog, understanding it, and it's just been there on. Then as and when I got ideas, I started doing things.
While dogs have been man's best friends for eons, the concept of pet therapy is relatively new. At Bark and Bond, one can enjoy the company of a trained dog and watch their anxiety wag its way out the door.
Pets have always known to be therapeutic because, and it can be dogs, it can be cats, it can be many animals. Just massaging them, touching them, you actually pass on a hormone called oxytocin, which we individuals, also humans, share when we are hugging each other, because we do, that emotional content is there. It's the same thing with pets. And at a corporate office, at a workplace, you're day in, day out in stress. You don't get a break, you're just sipping on coffee to get that break. So more than caffeine, if you just get to pet a dog, you're much healthy also, and you're mentally free.
The industry that you operate in is slightly unorganized. What are the challenges that you face because of that?
Pet care industry is still unorganized, especially the part where training, grooming and walking is concerned, because anyone can become a trainer or a walker these days. What matters is, even if you're certified, how much practical experience you have, and everything is word of mouth. There's nothing which is still, you have reviews or whatever. So majorly everything is word of mouth. So to even get a good pet trainer, you need to speak to prior clients that they have worked with. So there are still challenges, because it's also where the price comes in place, and you get other trainers who are just like, who have worked with dogs and they have no certification. They'll become a trainer and they'll show it that it's there, but 6 months down the line they'll have a behavior issue and then they'll come to us. So everything is still unorganized. Parents majorly have to research a lot before getting a pet, and before deciding a vet, before deciding a trainer, because the quality is yet to reach the level which it is anywhere else in the world.
Pet camps, training sessions and playdates with Pranita. Bark and Bond is indeed the one-stop shop for all your pets' needs.
With that, it's a wrap on this episode of The Leaders of Tomorrow. Today, we brought you tips on innovation in the transportation space and e-vehicles here in India. Do remember that if you want to get in touch with us, you can write to us at leadersoftomorrowtimesgroup.com. You can personally tweet at me at Sunanda_J. You can reach us on social media using the hashtag LOT, or call us on that number you see flashing on your screen. We promise to have all your questions answered. Thanks for watching. Have a good night.